Biggest challenge that I would say that I had personally was kind of navigating into a new role that wasn't necessarily recognized as a position that my company needed.
Yeah.
And to me, it was a very critical role that we needed to fill. So that was my challenge. There was some other challenges, obviously, but that was the biggest thing on my plate. I'd say the transition of ownership and leadership from the founding member, my father, to my sister and I. It was exciting and stressful. There was a lot going on at the same time. It was during a pandemic, so there was a couple other factors that were adding to the stress. But it was interesting because we knew that there was a great level of success that my father had with putting this company together and running it and leading it. And I also noticed all the things that were challenges facing us going forward as we're growing.
Mm.
And just being aware of those two different things and trying to figure out the best way to reconcile all that. The timing, I'd say, was because we were going to be bringing in the now president of the company, my sister. She was leaving position in the military, and we were going to start to transition the current president, my father, to a different role. So just the shift in those positions kind of led the time frame, and we knew we had a lot of work ahead of us and countless interactions between you and I, between different employees and you, and then actions to implement. So we knew we had a year or so to get it ready, and that's what led the time frame. I think that the decision to go with you as a coach was something that I saw that was missing from Cortec. There was a lot of these ideas that I had thought about, and some people at our company had presented to me that were just, I would consider, foreign to the current leader, and we needed a way to bring that in from someone else besides myself. Some of the people skills that we were missing, the training and whatnot, as we were getting bigger and taking on more work and not really focusing on any of that stuff, that it's critical to be on top of, especially as work gets more complicated and we spread our people across different states and the leadership transition. I think I started to notice, as you spoke to some of our employees, some of the excitement in them to see where to be going with this, to hear some of their call kind of answered to some degree, that they gave them some hope and see some of these changes. We do a lot of technical stuff that we're pretty good at, but there's so many things that are critical that we were not focusing on. And it was a nice sigh of relief for some people that was encouraging to me and helpful for us for the future. Well, if you want to have a standing business, if you want to have longevity, if you want to have employee engagement, I think it's critical to look at some of the stuff that you bring to the table, and it can lead to so many other things too. So it's not just what you plan on starting with. There's all sorts of other things that can come out of the initial conversation as you get into it, as you start working with like you. You don't even know in the beginning what you could be getting out of it. Just talking about things like, you get into the conversation about employee reviews and performance stuff. That was not something we originally were talking about, but as we share where we're at with things and you understand that we're lacking in this or that, that became something that now we're working on. And so it leads to those peripheral things that in my mind we've been lacking for years, and that leads to that further engagement and excitement as we go forward. Well, I know that when we were getting involved with this work, it was the pandemic was starting and we were part of the same community and we were trying to help each other out. And if there was any overlap or business opportunities to share amongst the community, and that was part of it. I was like, she's right in this area where I'm already engaged in to some extent, and she can get some support from us. We can get some support from her. So that's one of the factors, I would say. I think that you're easy to talk to and engaging. There was some other coaches that we had met with initially, and the excitement is there, but the engagement, it's harder to see that, how that's going to come across. Someone who's not as joyful to speak with, someone who's, I don't know, kind of seemingly just in a role doing work, normal stuff for them. I just feel like you were able to bring out that excitement